Welcome to the Maritime Startup Ecosystem Interviews, a series we created to give even more exposure to startups from the Maritime Startup Ecosystem Network. Today I'm here with Mats Jorgensen of Upteko. Upteko develops innovative drone solutions for the maritime sector, but Mats will tell us more about it. Hello Mats, welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Hi, good to see you.
Very
Good
nice.
to see you. So you're in the fields with some
Yes.
generators behind you.
Zoom
The
and asked me
magic,
to choose my own background, so I chose wind turbines. That's kind of the industry that we're also in.
the magic of Zoom. So good to see you. Good to see you. We were supposed to have the three of you, the three co-founders. Unfortunately, for some technical reasons, we have just you, but it's more than enough. And you will tell us about yourself, your co-founders. But first of all, tell us something about Upteko. What is Upteko? What does it do?
So Upteko is a company that develops drone solutions for the maritime sector. We're very focused on drone technology, and everything we do relates in one way or another to drones. That's where we have our background and our skills and our history. On top of that, we're very focused on the maritime sector. We see a lot of good use cases for using drones and applying drone applications in the maritime sector and offshore, both for vessels, but also offshore wind turbines. So those are our focus areas. That's what we're about in the company.
Yeah. Okay. So what kind of well, before we go into the solutions, can you tell us something about the co-founders? So I think it's three of you, right?
Yes. So the company was built in 2018 by me, Benjamin, and Sebastian.
Yeah.
Benjamin and Sebastian has a longer history together. They've been working since 2010 together, actually, on another company where they also was working with drones, and they were basically doing different jobs with drones, doing like advertisements, different inspection jobs, both for like district heating plants and a little within wind turbines. And that was really good business for them. And they were some of the first to actually do that, use drones for some of these applications and for advertisements. And they met before that, even flying in competitions against each other as pilots, and then decided to create that company and another company called Creative Site. And then in 2018, I met them, and that was around the time where they were starting to look into other business areas, basically developing their own projects. And I had, in the meantime, my background, I'm an engineer with a master in innovation management. I'd worked in Siemens, and I had just come back from Silicon Valley, where I had been working, making partnerships between Siemens Wind Power and different startups that I met over there. So I came back to Denmark, and I wanted to build a company. And I met these two guys, and we talked a lot about our visions and what we thought about both the drone industry, but also wind power, where I came from, and the maritime industry, and then decided to build a company together in 2018.
Yeah. And then, of course, so you said you work, you serve the wind generation industry and the maritime industry. Can you tell us about, in the maritime industry, what are the use cases of drones? You said for ships. So what's the use case?
Yeah. So the project that we started and that we're still involved in as the first project was building a drone solution that could basically live on ships and help the captain and the crew with a bunch of different tasks. So what we're developing is a charging station. And from this charging station, the drone is able to land, it's able to charge its batteries, communicate, and fly out and perform different tasks. And this charging station is installed on these large vessels. From there, the drone can then go out and do different tasks. And some of the tasks that we are developing first is, for example, when you have a large vessel that is docking itself into an harbor that it has never been in before, the drone is able to fly above the ship, and it's able to see the surroundings and feed that data down to the captain, and the captain is able to navigate faster and easier through the harbor and more safely. and dock his ship in the harbor. So that's one application. Another application is search and rescue missions. If someone falls overboard, the drone is able to fly out and find people who are in the surface of the water. And with a thermographic camera, we can then identify a person and tell the location to the ship, and the ship is then able to save the person.
Yeah. Wow, this is super interesting. So I would say on one side, situational awareness for complicated situations where you really need to have 1,000 eyes all over, and the drone help you, or it helps the captain or the pilots see what's going on around the ship from with the top view, and the other rescue for rescuing people who might fall in the water. So that's very interesting. These are the use cases. Now, are you doing this? Do you have? Did you pilot this? Did you already pilot it? Do you have already clients doing this? How's the situation?
Yes, so the status today is that we got an investor into the company about a year ago, and that was an investor called Cadiz, which is a huge engineering consultancy company, very big within the renewable sector. And part of the investment was also giving us engineering resources to basically develop this product. So the development is underway right now. We have a team of engineers who's working on it every day. Yeah. To develop this charging station, to develop the software and the connection. And we hope to be able to, around October, install the system and run the first tests on an actual ship. Okay.
So do you have already the ship, or do you have already a partner to do this?
Yes, we do. Yeah, we do. We work very closely together with a lot of different players in the maritime industry. And we have now secured also a partner for it. But the way we still need to get the last paper signed, and that will hopefully happen this week, and then I'll be able to tell more about that.
Yeah, of course. As any startup, everything is in the making, and some stuff you cannot really tell till it's ready. But it's good to hear, because I think that the most important part of any startup, even if if it has a physical product, is not much the development of the product or the concept of the product as much. Well, it is difficult, and in fact, it's not trivial. But the tricky part is really to prove that there is demand for this, Yes. And when you're doing something that is totally new, innovative, well, will there be a demand for this? Well, I think yes, but let's test it. So definitely having already a partner to pilot your idea, it's great. So, and it's
were
also
actually quite lucky, because we were not when this idea was developed, basically it was not just the three of us sitting in a room coming up with this idea.
Yeah.
The idea for the concept and the applications and how to install ship, all of that has actually been developed together with vessel owners, with large shipping companies. So basically, we have, through the whole journey that we've been developing this product, we've been getting the inputs and the feedback and the buy-in and involvement from these companies. Now we just need the last mile, which is basically to get it installed on one of their ships.
Okay, fantastic. I think this is the best a startup might want, to develop a product with their potential clients already on board, and actually giving them the insights that you really need when you build something that is totally new, to be something that is also relevant, not just new and innovative. Yeah. And so relevance comes from someone who is on the field and doing this, and it's the client. So this is perfect. I'm very happy to hear that. And also the timeline. Of course, it takes time. It takes time to develop a product. It takes time to develop a proof, and to develop then a client and more clients. Now, you mentioned also that you have one investor. So, and this leads to the last question, is about funding. So, I understand that you started somehow from scratch, then you got this investor. So how did it work, and what's the next steps? If you can tell, of course, consider this is a public interview.
Yeah. So we got the investor on board a little bit more than a year ago now, and they gave us both some cash to run the company, and they gave us engineering resources to develop our product. So that was a really, really good investor to get on board, also to get the guidance in the development. Now we're building up all the hardware and the platform, and we'll be ready by October for this installation. What we're looking for now is a second round of investment to continue developing on the software part of the business. So we're developing these two applications that I told you about, the helping a ship dock into harbor, search and rescue mission. But there are many other applications that we want to develop with this system, so that the system becomes even worth more for the ship owner, because you'll be able to use the drone for a lot more tasks. Then we also want to raise investment to basically start scaling up, selling, getting the product out there, marketing it. There's a lot of things that comes into play when we have to launch the product and install it on ships all over the world, both also on the legal and certificate side, sales side. So this is what we're looking for now, is to basically get the company to that next stage.
Now, I would say a last question, and we've been very fast actually. So I want to add another question. How are you doing with COVID? Meaning, what impact do you see that COVID had on your business or on your business perspective, if any? Because in your situation, it might be nothing. So what was the impact?
So, because most of our activities has been on development, and a lot of development is basically happening on computers, it hasn't had as big an impact on us as I think it has on a lot of other companies. We have all of us started working from home when the breakout came, and about I think a month or so ago, people started coming back to the office and working. I feel like it actually worked quite well when we were working from home. You know, we were all using online meetings and being very effective with that, and we're able to jump around in meetings very fast. In our company, we already have our offices distributed all over Denmark. We have an office in Copenhagen, we have one in Odense, we have one in Skanderborg. So we are used to not sitting together. That's how it's always been. So because of that, I think it didn't have an impact on us that was as big. The biggest impact with COVID, I think, for us has been that some of these larger maritime companies that we're talking with are experiencing a lot of financial difficulties, and that could obviously have an impact on us when we have to sell to them, that it will not be as easy for them to raise the funds for that. So that means that some discussions, you know, we have to find other ways of doing it than maybe originally.
Yeah. Well, it's of course it's reasonable. Big clients are affected. We, the small startups, are affected in different ways because we have to find ways to keep going. But if we, like you're not for the moment counting on sales to keep you going because you're still in pre-sales in product development mode. Definitely the impact is not high. I think it's nice to see that time and again we see that the proof of concept of working from home that we've been forced to do actually works pretty well. Well, it was a great having you. I'm very happy to hear that everything is going as planned, I would say. Fundraising, check, we know about it, and so keep going, and thank you very much for being with us. Thank you, Mats.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Cheers. Bye.